trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just this gown? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending moss on phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this last. I don't know.
That was great sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. EZ Blues, you are better with introductions more than me. Who do we have this today on Behind the Brand?
Many, many moons ago, there was a book written by Aldous Huxley called The Doors of Perception. And throughout time, you can actually look at perception, each point of view looking at things slightly different. This book was so inspirational, it became the influence from the name of the band, The Doors, another band that took things into a different direction, a different perspective, a different perception. When we perceive things, we are truly engaging in it. But when you have someone that can take their perspective, spin it on an image, spin it on a moment, spin it on the axis of true creativity, that is where art meets life, and we are whole. For that, I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. Please keep your hands at 10 and 2. We don't need any accidents. But right now, mentally put your hands together for the amazing Emile from Emile Creations. How are you?
Thank you.
Welcome. Benvenue.
Lord, thank you. Thank you. Glorious intro.
Thank you.
He definitely is the best.
You know, I have fun with it.
Really, yeah, that was really
but
spot on. Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, okay. All right, I like that.
Yeah, I like to drop knowledge. Knowledge is important. But now let's give a little bit of knowledge to the people playing the home game, as I like to say. For everyone playing the home game right now, who are you? What exactly do you do? And how did you get here?
I was dropped off by the heavenly sky and just plopped down on Earth. and then purpose was created. And so I'm an alien. I don't belong to this world. I just live in it. But anyway, my name is Emile Arthur-Ricketts. It is not Emily. It is not Emile. I am born on September 11th, 1987. I am from New York City, but I now am a resident of Long Island, 6 years. My brand is called Emile's Creations, and Emile's Creations focuses on 3 components of art and creativity and entrepreneurship. It's hip hop, because I am also an MC, a rapper. I've been on a hiatus for quite some time. My main component right now is being a photographer. My specialty, I focus on a lot of concert photography, hip hop shows, to be exact, both in Christian hip hop sphere and then also the secular sphere. And then I also do modeling for clothing lines, faith-based fashion. I like to do a lot of different clothing designs that are faith-based, and it all encompasses under the name of Emile's Creations because I am just that creative. That's my logo. That's my brand. The way I came across behind the brand was I was discovered by Preston. We met each other at the State House for the Chic Luch show on February 24th. We decided to chop it up for a little bit, discuss entrepreneurship and creativity and link it, and being connected to like-minded individuals such as yourself. And I've been dubbed one of the most consistent up-and-coming Northeast photographers, but also encompasses of anything. My work spans from weddings, baby showers, birthday parties, to notable artists such as Chic Luch, Dave East, Omar Epps, as well as some other people, Joel Santana, Jim Jones, Cormega, Rod Digga, and Freeway. And this is just covering from the tri-state area itself. my goal and my mission is to, give back my portion. I like to say that this is one of the other elements of hip hop that's untapped. I even like to say myself, I'm the next Ernie Pernicoli. That's the famous hip hop photographer. This is the 50th year of hip hop, and I'm happy to be a part of that. As far as my music background goes, I was once a secular artist under the name Diesel E, which was determined individual earning money, every lyric experimentally. I'm really big into acronyms. Now, I took a 8-year hiatus, so my content is now going to be resurfacing soon. I'm just using my regular name, broken up into 30 different acronyms, one for every day of the month. And my style is, I had gotten saved and found Christ in my life, and but I still have I am still engaged with hip hop on both sides of the fence, both in the sense. I do have somewhat of a boundary and an intake and a limit to certain things, but my heart and my passion is there. And I'm not wearing one of my lines today, but some of my clothing lines are like "Speak Life," which is based off of like certain scriptures like Proverbs 18:21 or God's law, which means love always wins, type things like that. So all of my things can be found on social media and emilescreations.net, where clients can get whatever it is that they like that engages both those spheres. And on the other side of that, I am also a father. I have a son who's on the autism spectrum named Ethan, and I am also looking into, like I said, modeling and getting into, books and children's books and things of that nature, and brand ambassador for food industries. And that's me.
Well, first of all, that's a lot, and always going to take a little bit of time to digest. So I want to talk like kind of moment by moment what you got going on there, because super interesting, and I love the story. But now let's talk about the journey. 6 years prior, you were in New York City. Obviously, what most people, and I feel most people correctly, look at as the birthplace of hip hop. We are dealing with hip hop's 50th anniversary.
Absolutely.
You were also stating that you like, not only are you doing hip hop photography, but you also are taking it more towards the private sector. It's something that I truly ask all artists to do, is to figure out that way to, do the industry or, the corporate gig so that you can finance your art. Is that something that you were doing, or was this more of the thing of, I just like taking pictures and I'm gonna try to make some money off of each aspect of those pictures? I don't have to be locked into a single genre.
Okay. That's a loaded question, and that's great. What started as such was just me having my phone. And what I had a perspective of was something that other people didn't find. I don't want to say fine, but didn't really align with. I kind of had my own style where I was just go with the flow type of guy. So I would say I started developing it in like 2014, 2015, and people were starting to say, man, you take some nice shots. How you do all those edits? What kind of saturation you using? What kind of colors and stuff? And I'm just using my phone. I don't really know what y'all talking about. And it wasn't until people were starting to see me doing it more. I think what really kicked off the journey for me was, I'm a guy that likes to always be on the move. As you can see, I'm in my car right now. What really jump started it was, I have a CDL, and I did oil delivery, and now I work for New York State DOT, but I did like a lot of oil delivery. So I would always cover tri-state, as far as even past New Haven, like Newington, close to like Groton and things like that. And then Jersey, like as south as Camden, and obviously the boroughs and things like that. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm in this area. Let me see what I come up with there, take a shot of it, or whatever the case may be. And I happen to find like some different vantage points and interests, and people were really intrigued by that. And they said, yo, you want to cover my event? I need you to cover my event. I want to hire you, whatever. And I would say by 2021, 2022 is when I started like really like getting into it. Now people were seeing what I come up with, and they like that. So for the most part, I would say the gigs, they come, they're paid gigs. There's ones where I just show up, and that's how I introduce myself, and that's how they become paid gigs. You know, I have sometimes it's without even the intention to be paid for that specific job. Like the Chic Luch thing, you know, I was partially hired because one of the artists hired me. But what happens is it actually opens the door, and the genres kind of just kick in. Hip hop just happened to be my favorite one, and that's what I enjoy most. But other people see it and they say, "Oh, can you do this?" And they're impressed with what I come up with. And actually, it gives me an idea because I used to always think that I was specifically geared to one thing, but when I tried my hand in other things, people were actually really, you know, impressed, and I was impressed with myself too, because it took a lot of classes, it took a lot of learning from others and watching YouTube videos, but then also kind of just putting my imagination, creativity together.
Definitely. I love the evolution of the artist, and that's one of the things I really want to hammer home to the listener or those playing the home game. You know, this started with you just taking your phone out, but the key point is you had the bravery to share that art with somebody. You know, that's a lot. There's a whole bunch of people that got millions and millions of pictures on their phone that they're never going to show anybody. You know, Emily Dickinson died, you know, with books and books of poetry that no one ever saw. No one knew she wrote until after she died. You know, there are paintings we're never going to see because that fear that we hold on to so deeply as artists, because it's not just this piece of paper or this photo, it's our soul that we're sharing with you. And so, you know, so it becomes this thing. But when we start to share with others, then we can grow. You know, you need the stone to sharpen the blade. And the only way you're going to do that is by sharing it with others and understanding that there's going to be loving criticism, there's going to be constructive criticism, and then there are just going to be people out there that like to urinate on parades. You know, there's just people that are just cut that way. You know, and that happens, and you have to go and grow with that. How have you dealt with, as I guess the kids say today, the haters?
Perfect
I'm
wording.
up here determined to say adversity. Adversity with a capital A?
Yes, exactly.
I got an A on my chest for adversity attacks.
Exactly.
AA. Put that in the AA meeting. AA, adversity attacks. That's a new one. Currently dealing with that right now. I like to share. Currently going through a divorce. And I'm all right with that. If I could bare my soul and bare my scars for anyone that needs to listen, I just got out the hospital. Literally earlier today. I took off work as a mental health day, and to try to reassess myself and reassess my journey, tackle things with my attorney and things of that nature. And how it ties in is because as a creator and as an entrepreneur, and as anybody, we all need mental health days to pull back and reassess. If it's a day or two, but then obviously getting back up on the grind. This is even convicting to myself, even when I say it. So anyone out there that is listening, you know, it's okay to take a step back if you're overwhelmed. Because sometimes it's not even just haters, but it's just adversity and trials and tribulations of life. But as I was telling Preston, you know, I made it my business to still do this because someone needs my voice. You know, humbly, you know what I'm saying? I don't say that to say I'm their God or anything else like that, because someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to hear my voice. Someone needs to be impacted. I would say within adversity, others still need to be impacted. My son Ethan, even though on the spectrum, is very engaged and intelligent for where he is at 4 years old, and he needs me just as much as
Mhm.
I need him.
Mhm.
I would say that in all aspects, there's a lot of eyes on me. There's a lot of things on the radar, and I can't live in a space where I'm here to please anyone. It's either you like me or you don't.
Right.
And because I've been in that space too. Like I'm you know, are my hands clean? Absolutely not. I mean, they look
Mhm.
pretty on here, but you know, that's pretty much it. But the fact of the matter is that I have to constantly pray, repent daily, and constantly, you know, forgive myself and not condemn myself for my same things because um as I am my own personal accountability personnel, I also have others that hold me accountable as well.
Good.
And I think that one of the things that they encourage me is like, if this is your sense of peace and your sense of you, don't stop doing it. You know, it's
Mhm.
okay to enjoy these things and it's okay to do these things as long as you're taking care of responsibilities and take care of business and priorities. So I would say for the artists, and I would say for anyone and who has these haters or these snakes, as we call them, or these people that just, you know, want to just stab you in the back. Assess yourself, know yourself, and discern who and what's around, and you know, be aware. And I'm learning how to be aware every single day. I don't always get it right, you know.
Mhm.
I could only learn from what was and hope for what will be. And you know, they say hope for the best and expect the worst. I may be saying it wrong, but you get the point, or get
Yeah.
the
Well.
picture rather.
Yeah. No.
You do get the
First of
picture on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself,
Yeah.
Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. This is behind the brand, EZ BlueZ. I hope they didn't lose your train of thought. Continue.
first, yeah. No. First and foremost, I just want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you
Absolutely.
for taking this moment and being truly vulnerable with us. It does speak light years, and I love how you said, you know, I need to say this for that other person listening right now, because there is somebody. There's always going to be that other person that
Yep.
does need to know that they are not alone. You know what, you know, we truly heard is you sit in a good community. You have people that also will hold you accountable, and there's a loving way to hold people accountable. And sometimes that loving way can not feel loving when you're the one that's being held accountable. You know, but it is a loving place. So again, thank you. Also, sorry to hear about the
You can
end
say it.
of
I
the
don't care.
marriage. No,
Mm-hmm.
I was, you know, I like words, so I was trying to make it fancy. You know, sorry to hear about that. But you seem in a very good place to evolve to the next level. Understanding that no matter what, and for those people in Suffolk County, Long Island, I want you to know, because I know you all know this. You go to the Central Islip Courts building, right? The where you have the courts, and both
Mm-hmm.
courts are there. On the right hand side, you've got the criminal court. On the left hand side, you have family court, and you can sit in that parking lot by that food truck about 3 rows back, and you can watch and you can tell who comes out of what building. People who are happy and skipping are coming out of the you know, criminal court system because they just beat something, got something good or whatever. They're usually happy. Everybody, win, lose, or draw, everybody is miserable walking out of that family court building because it is so painful. There is not, nobody is happy. No one. So and anyone who's been there can attest to that. And I'm speaking to a whole bunch of real people right here to state that I've been where you are, and I'm here now, and it's just taken a lot of work and growth. So know that there is a tomorrow. You just have to get through today. Okay? Speaking heart to
My
heart,
man,
human to
my
human.
man, my man, my
Appreciate you.
man. Oh, love it,
All
love
right.
that, love that,
Yeah. So
love that.
um
Wow.
now as you are in this transition period, Okay. Are you taking more than just the single mental health day? Are you going to slow back your pace a little bit more? Because you've got, from even your intro, man, you've got this upward energy. And you talked about a lot of different things that you do. You know, are you going to start to sit back on the cut on a couple and, you know, work it through and then start to build back so that your leg, because, you know, once you knock down the Lego bit that is Emile, right, and you got to rebuild it, you don't just throw all the Legos in one thing at a time. You pay a brick by brick by brick. So is there going to be anything that you're editing out of your business journey, or are you going to continue to push through?
I think those are what keep me going. I think mainly the thing is I would have to decide what I can and what I can't. And that takes a level of, I would say that takes a level of maturity, but I would also say I'm not certain until it's there. I think that when other things come, then it kind of allows me to reassess with what I can and can't do. And I think that's the part that may be a little frustrating because it's like that balance thing, that balance effect of hopefully I can say this, damn if I do, damn if I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the deciding factor is like, am I doing too much, not enough, or am I just trying to, for lack of better words, fill my own cup? And I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I don't know if that's the right terminology. I would just say that it takes what can I do and what can just hold off for right now. And maybe I got to see when it comes. But I would say I would equally balance it depending on what leads to where so that I can be able to assess how I can go about, you know, rebuilding that. Because I would say ultimately, I do need someone to assist me. And hopefully there's someone out there that is knowledgeable in those areas that can. But also, I come first in a lot of ways. So this is exactly what I'm doing now. Like I said, I do go to the gym. I do pray. I do see a therapist, do take medication. I don't care. I'll give my whole life story. But I just want to be able to still be able to do what I love and still be human, but still have that time to reassess and reevaluate, which is what I'm doing right now.
No, and that's incredible. And we're gonna do kind of like a readjustment of thinking for a hot second. Nothing you said was wrong. There wasn't a wrong anything there. It's your personal journey. It's the steps that you need to take to make you right. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's like saying someone's belief is incorrect. A belief is never wrong. That's what you believe, you know? So you have to, you know, so no negative at all, brother. You're just going through that struggle, and you know, you're doing what you feel, whether it is right, wrong, or indifferent, you feel it. So you're going to go down that path, and that's, and everyone again playing the home game, you're going to have similar experiences, but not the same exact experience. So what's going to help an Emile or an Easy might not help you, but that's why you go through these different aspects. And kind of like when you're just trying to get a new style of clothes, right? You go into a spot, you try on a whole bunch of different clothing, and you find what best fits you. You know, it's really easy when you're doing the spring cleaning in your house to take said item and be like, does this give me joy? And if you don't feel it, you can put it down. It's a lot more difficult when you're talking about an artistic creation, when you're talking about a facet of your personality, when you're talking about a part of your business hustle. That's not something tangible that you can hold. So it's going to take some time to see where it fits into your life, and your time schedule might not be my time schedule, might not be, Tom, Jane, or Louie's time schedule. But all of those time schedules are still right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I want to give you those flowers there, man, because got you. I got you. Yeah, bro. Again, man, I've been where you're at, bro. Been where you're at. Been there, done that. Got the really junky concert T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
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 Next up on Miserable and the Depressants, I got you, bro. Like, I was there for the '97 tour. It's not as good now. They don't play the hits anymore.
Oh no. That is hilarious.
Got you, man. Got you. Feel free to listen back to the show, cut it up, throw it in a record. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Now,
absolutely. I actually play this and drop a link. Is there a link for?
Yeah. We're gonna hook you up with everything. Towards the end of the gotcha.
Absolutely.
But what's tomorrow for you, man? We know today you're taking the day, healing, growing, building, sitting with us, having conversations. But what's Emile's tomorrow like? And what's Emile's creations tomorrow like? I got you.
Emile's creations. Yeah. Hopefully it's a studio session, and I would say when it comes to the personal side of things, it's lawyer and litigation matters. Then there's also work on Wednesday. Like I said, I work for New York State DOT, highway department, for bigger trucks, and sure the states of New York are free of snow and ice and all those different matters and things like that. My social security number is none of your business.
Yeah, word.
I just like things out.
Had my heart go for a second. I was like, what? Don't do that.
Yeah. But I would say it's mainly continuing on. I love to be able to just be active and just create with whatever the day goes with. Although I have things pre-planned, plans can always change, and I have to be ready for that. And at the same time, enjoy my time with my son, enjoy my time just to be able to take my mental health day. So even in that sense, I would say that this is something that I am kind of looking forward to, and I think it'll kind of rejuvenate where Emile needs to be. Emile's creations, it just never stops. Even if I wanted to, it just doesn't. Because between the hours of 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. and probably all day, there's ideas flooding my mind, and it just doesn't stop from there. And it actually goes beyond a 5-year plan. So I already have plans for beyond 40 and now. So it just doesn't stop.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Emile, what have been some of your favorite celebrity interactions? I see you with Omar Epps, Jim Jones, a whole bunch of other great people, Dave East. What have been some of those ones that stood out to you?
So I'm gonna tell you what that one was all about.
Yeah.
That was they were doing a remake to the movie Juice. That's why those folks showed up there. It was extras. Like I said, I would like to get into acting when I have some time, but basically what's been happening is I was in the club scene. I was in a club scene. The party scene. So actually the original cast, Jermaine Hopkins and Khalil Kane were also there as well. Street Heat. I don't know if you're familiar with their work, but Street Heat was the one who was covering it. Where they do like a lot of celeb videos. Jim Jones, Jewels, Fab, French Montana, like the more up and coming mainstream and everything else like that. So I think that was a humbling experience. Before actually being, reestablished in that sense. I've always had I've opened shows for like DJ Click, Talib Kweli Currency, MOP, Snow Goons. This is prior to where I am now, but I've always been in that space. And I would say that as far as those go, those are like once in a lifetime opportunities that not everybody is whether afforded or able to receive them. So I was actually humbled to be able to be a part of that. Because that's a space I just kind of desired myself to be in, and it just comes naturally for me. Even doing this is natural for me as well because podcasts. It doesn't feel like an interview; it feels like it's a conversation, and that's what I've always like. Yeah, that's the point. Like I like it where it's a conversation and it's not scripted. Feel me?
No,
like it's not scripted at all. Like the way Easy Blues like just did the whole intro, I was like, yo, I was blown away. I was not even thinking about any of that stuff. That's why I was like, yo.
Yeah, no script at all. I make it up as all of this is completely made up. and the points don't matter.
I love it. But that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
My God, like you never know how many like different interviews I've done, and like they just like copy and paste.
Yeah.
So what are these questions like? So what is this? Like that is gear specific, and it's just scripted, and I hate that.
No. Well,
now we try to stay away from the monotone. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, that's the whole point of what Prestige and I try to do here is to get to know the person behind the brand itself. Because when we can make that personal connection with you, and when the listener can make that personal connection with you, they are more likely to align and then support your brand. And we've seen this time and time again. And it's such a beautiful experience to be. And anytime anybody gives us their story to tell, it is truly an honor and a privilege. And people who are going as deep as you've gone, it's absolutely we are in awe of your willingness to be vulnerable in a public setting.
Yes.
Now, are you going to take that vulnerability and put it on wax, as the kids say, and into the studio?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nothing gets back from there. I think just that it's necessary. That's a release, and I wish that not that I wasn't doing it before, but now I have more to say because more life experience. And actually leads into one of the acronyms to my name was experiencing mandatory important life events. Was one of my acronyms, or Eastside Music introducing lyrical expertise. Ethan's male influence learning essentials. I'm gonna stop there. That's just so much.
We appreciate it. Again, it's a very real moment. Well, see, it's also.
I tell you, I got a whole list. It's like every day of the month.
Well, it's super interesting because you also seem very aligned in like the different vibration aspects of like how things are supposed to play through. Here we are talking about bringing vulnerability into hip hop, which is not necessarily known as a genre that has commercially crossed over enough for vulnerability in the vulnerability aspects of it. But if you really dig deep, before we even went on air, we were rocking out to LL Cool J, When I'm Alone in My Room, one of the most vulnerable, love songs that not a lot of people really talk about. And this came off of the Bad record. So like that's 80 something, there is more to it than that. And I really respect, especially when artists, go in and truly put their soul out there. How do you do that in a genre that not a lot of light is truly shined on that vulnerability?
I'm glad you brought that up because it just led into my next point and kind of like why shout out to Full Blast Booking for life. This is how I met Preston. But mental health, those were the key points you were touching on, and that's what it led to. I don't think the term or you know what, let me say this. Mental health was always around, was just always around. There is no since when. There is no since day one. Mental health starts when we're born, I don't think that mental health was highlighted up until the 2010s. And in all aspects of the just the entertainment industry. Now, if you're specifically talking about hip hop, I would say it was frowned upon up until I would say the 2010s. I think that we see more artists being more vulnerable, like I believe Styles P's stepdaughter committed suicide, or Freeway lost 2 of his kids, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been the aspect of it, but it's never been specifically highlighted as such. I think we're just used to depending on both sides. You grew up getting robbed and shot every single day. That's trauma. You grew up in a house where, there's abuse, there's domestic violence currently what I'm facing. That's part of mental health, because that does something here. I don't think that that was really highlighted, and this thing I'm passionate about because I've been in that field for about 12 years or so as well.
Right.
So I'm no stranger to it. That's why I don't mind supporting Brand Blast and Kenny. If he ever watches this, and JoJo and everyone, I like what they're doing with that. Mental Health Connecticut, and then also any other aspect of it. But I get we see artists doing all these poems and doing all these writing things like that, but I don't think mental health was highlighted as we got services for such. We got people that commit suicide. We got people that are ODing and everything else like that. It was never really highlighted until the 2010s. And now we live in a culture where rappers are dying every single day. And whether we bought them or not, on a higher level, like MF Doom and Sean Price, or, you know what I'm saying, to ones like Prodigy or it's the guy Pakistan, freaking Demigod, things like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we dealing with this every single day, and I think now for what made it come to the forefront, I would say maybe social media. I would say maybe that there's been a sense of untapped healing and untapped things, but I don't think it was classified as such until where we are right this moment.
This moment at WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made EZ BlueZ is in the building. This is behind the brand. Emile Creations is with us. Easy, go right ahead.
I love every single aspect of what you're saying, because it's so true, and it has been to recent aspect. Yes, mental health has been around for a very long time. We've also treated it a lot differently. It used to be, if you got the weird feelings, were electric. Lou Reed was talking about, he felt a little weird back when he was younger, in like the 30s and 40s, and he got electroshock therapy for it. We are now starting to truly engage in it, and that's a much better thing. Anything kept in the darkness will come to light, right? Well, if we look biblically, it's going to be there. If we just allow it to sit in that darkness, that is when it can fester, it can grow. If you don't take care of an ingrown hair, A simple ingrown hair, it becomes infected. You could die. That's an ingrown hair. So if you don't take care of one synapse in the brain, you could also die. And it's super, super, super important. And I really, truly appreciate your, being as open, sharing your story with us today.
As always, it's all about helping others. I have two things that exist with each other. It's ICU, meaning inspiration success. I celebrate unity. ICU. I acknowledge you. That's how it should be.
Emile, out of curiosity, have you ever tapped into Christian hip hop, just taking photography for them, doing like any network events for any like Christian rappers? Because like a lot of inspiring stuff you're putting out here.
Yeah, I actually just did it on Friday in Jamaica, Queens. We have a venue called Church City, held by the pastor. His name is Richie Righteous. You may know this artist named The Truth, who now goes by Emile, which means God is with me. I just covered their event, Redeemed, Zaire, and Rangy artists. I've been to a lot of Christian hip hop festivals. Looking at the one in Florida called Fest. There's also Entertainment, where they are basically been they focus on like a lot of the award shows for such artists and things like that. I've covered so many.
That's cool.
And yeah.
You can go right ahead, man. I ain't trying to stop you.
Oh no! I was
I was just reiterating that was great and cool.
Yeah. No, I've done that as well.
Right.
It's my idea to go to both. And whenever I find that is like, all right, this is worth my time. This is worth my gas. This is worth my energy. This is worth me sleeping in the car if I have to.
Right.
Do you feel that mark will be more appreciated in probably the next 3 to 5 years? Because there's a lot of Christian hip hop I'm listening now recently that I have no idea that it was Christian. It's crazy.
Yes. Because I see that it's coming more. I would say even now, actually, but yeah, in the next 3 to 5 years. But I think that it's getting there more in a sense because, like for example, we have some artists like there's a label I like called Menace Movement. The artist that oversees it is Dayton, Datin. His name, he was originally a battle rapper. Most of these artists, if not a good percentage of them, they came from the secular scene first, and they came from the hip hop game where they almost had deals with like Shady or deals with if you remember the rapper Gemini, who's now Gemstones. He used to run with Lupe Fiasco and Kanye West. Now his name is Gemstones. There's always a lot of them that have that journey and have that background. So I see that and I say, okay, I can resonate with that because that's me too. I think that and then also there's some publicity behind it. The Truth is at the Grammys just the other day. And he's over here sitting down talking with us as a Q&A afterwards. Then there's also like I said, the Menace Movement, C4 Cortona, Monster Tarver. Some of them have joint deals with another well-known label called God Over Money. Or there's also, they've been on like Shade 45. There's another one. What's the name? It's a DJ Tony's Touch or something like that. But he plays a lot of things like Street Glory and like a lot of up-and-coming artists. And they're from our area, tri-state area, and things like that, and they're able to engage with the listeners. I think it's gonna get out there more. Of
course,
I think it's more receptive versus prior to maybe.
I think it's really interesting because as for someone who's weird AF. I'm a fan of a group called PID, who Preachers in Disguise, whose first record was 1989. Christian
Wow.
rap has
Ooh.
been here for a long time.
It has.
A long
Mhm.
time. So I think it's really people are like, no, to truly understand that part of the conversation is when it hits more of the mainstream or noticed from the underground on the more top level of it. Niche genres are always going to be there. It's just a matter of when are they going to get a little bit more of a spotlight, and now there is a lot more of an evolution there. I know Speech from Arrested Development. He's released a couple of Christian hip hop records. They are out there, but now it seems there's more people having those conversations. Do you think that is more of a marketing aspect? Because I do know that for the longest time, the only avenue or genre of music that continuously made a profit in the record industry was actually Christian music. It continuously grew at like 4% every single year.
Wow.
Do you think that some of the artists we're seeing now are there because of faith or because of profit? Ooh, I'm calling them out.
Okay. Uh,
Oh,
he said a bar within a bar. Not a rapper, but I'm not a rapper.
Nope, not at all.
Oh man. I feel like that needs a separate episode.
Oh.
That needs a separate episode. All right, so there are two sides to this.
Right.
Scripture says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added on to you." I would say, in one aspect, there are others that do seek God, and what happens when He does that is that God looks at the heart and what our intentions are, and even me being held to this standard. There are some artists, such as myself, and depending on who and what and where it is, I won't go to everything, but I'll go to some things that are non-Christian because that's what I know I can handle and I can take in, and I can still remain what's called unscathed. And then I can also go to a CHH, which is, Christian hip hop event, and I could feel the same way. I can sense what the energy would be in that sense. And when I'm there, I can still enjoy myself and still let my light shine. So when that happens, it allows others to see, something is different about this event, something different about that event. I would say that there are some artists, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Saga from battle rap scene. He battles a lot of secular artists, and he's still keeping it to where he is. And there are people that can do that and are called to do that, and there's some people that won't do that. I think that it's best for, like, if it was me, I wouldn't mind being on some shows because there's an audience that would need to hear that, and they're not going to be receptive to someone that's in a church wearing a suit and a collar and being a pastor. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't. You don't even know that. Like, I could be dressed down the way I am, and I could be a deacon of a church, which I actually am trained to be, and be just that, and still have all these tattoos like MF Doom and Wu-Tang and Dilated Peoples, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I could be that same thing, and that's an engaging conversation. So I think that's the faith aspect. As far as the prophet aspect, within the prophet, because there are false prophets making prophets, and that's how the prophets keep continuously prophesying, is the fact of the matter that, I hate to say this, but if you commercialize it, like, let's say there's a Kanye West, then there's a Justin Bieber, and there's people that are up on those higher platforms. Some now, and it's not all of them. There are some people that use that platform for God's glory and be able to do that. How God deals with them in that sense, I don't know. I don't know how it works. but then you could clearly see that the devil's in the details when it comes to it. Is it really just a snake in disguise? Is it really just a wolf in sheep's clothing? Is it really just, or is it pure? And can people really receive from that? You know, because you could receive from certain things. I can receive from everything. I can receive and know that it may not be scripture based, but I can know and that, okay, this is God's voice in this, because, you know, if I pray on it before I make a move, all right, then it happened in that sense. But I don't have to like deviate from who I am, so to speak.
Right.
So I think overall, it depends on the artist and how well they can remain consistent to who they are and what's leading them to make those decisions. Is it heart-based, faith-based, or is it profit-based?
Right.
Unfortunately, one decision we have to make is we have to cut the broadcast. Apollo Curtains is reaching upon us on Behind the Brand. Emile, this final minute of the show is for you. I just want to give people some inspiring advice who wants to go in a similar path as yours when it comes to being a content creator and all great entertainer and a powerful human being. And please tag that social media. Let everybody know where you're at in the interwebs and of who you are. And last but not least, any future stuff you got coming up. Please tell our audience right now. The time is yours. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. You can find me at Emile Arthur-Ricketts on Facebook. You can also find me as Emiles _creations. That's EMILES _creations _1987 on Instagram. Any bookings, any events you'd like me to cover, it's Emiles _creations 1987 @gmail.com. You can support me via Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, EBT cards, you know, snail mail, whatever the case may be. Your mother's phone number, anything that would be able to continuously allow me to create and give you that great content, those great smiles and things of that nature. And as far as any of the events coming up, the next one shall be AZ, A-Marie, Next, and Funk Flex in Illtown Sluggers, Montclair, New Jersey. Saturday, March 25th, 8 p.m. Media Press, yours truly. Yeah, that's it. And we'll see you on the road out there. Emile, thank you very much, man. I learned a lot from you. It was a great time having this great conversation with you, brother. Appreciate you being on. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. This has been Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Emile, thank you.
Thanks.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just this gown? I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this lie.